Welcome to my channel Karma Romance Stories. Please like, subscribe for more videos.
Have you ever watched someone celebrate too early? My stepmother did. Just days after my father was buried, she looked me in the eyes and said I wanted the house, the company, the land, every account. My lawyer begged me to fight because we had evidence. Instead, I shocked everyone by saying give it all to her. People whispered that grief had broken me. At the final court hearing, I signed every document without hesitation. My stepmother smiled like she had already won. Then her own lawyer opened one final envelope. The smile disappeared. The courtroom fell silent. And what happened next changed every life in that room forever. Stay with me because this story proves that patience can defeat greed in ways revenge never could. The morning my father passed away felt unreal. He had spent decades building a successful family business from nothing. He always believed honesty and hard work would outlast money. At his funeral, everyone praised his generosity. My stepmother stood beside the casket crying. I believed we would honor his memory together. I was wrong. Only 3 days later, she invited me to the family home. Her voice was cold. She told me the estate belonged to her now. She wanted the mansion, the business, every investment, every piece of land. She said I should accept reality and leave quietly. I looked around the room where my father had raised me. Every photograph suddenly felt meaningless. My attorney reviewed every document. He believed we had a strong legal case. My father had left records proving his intentions. Witnesses were ready to testify. We could fight for years if necessary. My lawyer looked at me and said, "Do not surrender. You will regret it forever." I surprised everyone with one sentence: give her everything. Even my closest friends thought grief had destroyed my judgment. Family members stopped calling. Relatives whispered that I was weak. My stepmother celebrated before the case even reached court. She began remodeling the mansion and introduced herself as the sole owner of the family empire. What nobody knew was that my father had taught me something more valuable than wealth. He always said never make decisions while emotions control the room. Let greedy people expose themselves. Months passed. The legal process continued. My stepmother demanded faster hearings because she wanted complete ownership immediately. Every delay frustrated her. Every meeting made her more confident. Behind the scenes, my lawyer remained calm. He kept gathering records, old contracts, tax filings, partnership agreements, company bylaws. Every document painted a picture nobody expected. The day of the final hearing arrived. The courtroom was full. My stepmother entered wearing an expensive suit and smiled at reporters outside. She believed victory was guaranteed. When the judge asked whether I accepted the settlement, I stood up without hesitation. I signed every transfer document. Gasps echoed across the room. My lawyer lowered his head as though disappointed. My stepmother laughed quietly. Then my attorney requested permission to submit one final document that had become effective only after the transfer was complete. The judge agreed. Her lawyer opened the sealed envelope. He read the first page, then the second. His face lost all color. His hands started shaking. He whispered something into my stepmother's ear. She grabbed the papers herself. Her smile disappeared. Years before his death, my father had quietly restructured the operating company. The estate included buildings and visible assets, but the intellectual property, client agreements, brand ownership, licensing rights, and voting control had already been placed into a separate protected structure that automatically transferred to me after specific legal conditions were met. The mansion was expensive to maintain. The land carried taxes. Several luxury assets required constant payments. Without the company rights, those properties generated almost no income. The real business never belonged to the estate, she demanded. She had fought for appearances while my father protected the future. The courtroom remained silent as the judge confirmed every document was valid. Her own lawyer admitted the transfer had been completed legally years earlier. Reporters waiting outside quickly learned the truth. News headlines changed within hours. The woman who thought she owned everything actually controlled expensive liabilities, while the operating business continued under my management exactly as my father had planned. Employees who feared losing their jobs finally smiled. Clients stayed loyal because the leadership remained stable. Investors praised the careful succession plan. My stepmother tried negotiating privately. She offered settlements, partnerships, new agreements. I listened respectfully. Then I remembered my father's final lesson: never reward greed. I declined every offer politely. Instead, I created scholarships in my father's name. I expanded the company. I increased employee benefits. The business became stronger than ever because it focused on people instead of pride. Years later, people still ask why I signed those papers so calmly. The answer is simple. Winning is not always about taking more. Sometimes real victory comes from knowing the truth before everyone else. My father left me something far greater than an inheritance. He left me wisdom. And that was the one thing nobody could ever steal. Greed often celebrates too early. Patience sees the entire picture. My stepmother believed wealth meant owning the biggest house and the loudest victory. My father understood that real success comes from planning with integrity and protecting the people who helped build your legacy. In the end, money changed hands. Property changed owners. But wisdom decided the outcome. If this story taught you anything, remember this. Never confuse temporary success with lasting victory.